So what am I doing in Colombia? So all of your donations are actually funding two separate projects that I have going on in Colombia. On May 27th, I'm flying from DC to Bogota, and then I'm flying into Cucuta, which is right on the border of Venezuela and Colombia. In Cucuta, I'm working with a religious charity, but it's not like a religious mission, where we're handing out food and medicine to Venezuelan refugees who have escaped the country. So the situation in Venezuela, just to give you a quick little rundown, they were one of the best countries in South America for decades. They were one of the wealthiest, most prosperous countries. In the past 5 years, everything fell apart. And what we're seeing now is that there's a 95% shortage of medication, meaning 95% of all medical supplies or care you need is unavailable. 7 in 10 children are showing signs of malnutrition. 12.3% of all children are at risk of dying from malnutrition. And a child is dying every single day in Venezuela. Now, I can't go into Venezuela because it's the most dangerous country on the planet at the moment. And Americans have been illegally arrested and framed for crimes they haven't committed. So, I'm not going to actually enter Venezuela, but I'm going to be on the border in Cucuta, helping people as much as I possibly can. So the second project is with Wine to Water, and that's what I think has been promoted a little bit more. That's down in the Amazon. We're actually going to a town called Leticia, which is right on the border of Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. And so I'm actually going to be doing work in all three of those countries. And the big thing we're doing there is building wells and repairing older wells. We're also going to be doing a little bit of educating, because in some of these more remote areas, people legitimately don't understand the risks associated with drinking dirty water. And I actually saw this in the Dominican Republic. The man who was leading the entire factory that we were staying at in Dominican Republic had spent years of his life sick. And he was in and out of the hospital, and he actually had 2 surgeries to remove parts of his stomach because he thought he was just a sickly person. And he had no idea this entire time that he was actually being made sick by this dirty water. See, and it's such a shame because had he known that the water was making him sick, he could have achieved so much more in his life. That was so much potential that had been taken away from him because he didn't know. And so that's happening on large scales in remote areas like this that they can't develop because they're being held back. So I just wanted to make that video to clarify a little bit that when I'm talking about these 2 separate causes, because I'm actually doing 2 separate things in Colombia. And I want to thank everybody again who has already donated. And if you want to support just one cause and not the other, I'll provide links to both of the separate fundraising pages. I'm going to start a GoFundMe as well for the Venezuela thing.